great things about fall is that we all tend to bring back the crock pot. And this is a good, easy crock pot dish that you can make. Put it in the morning before you go to work, put it on low. This one cooks for about 8 to 9 hours, so it's perfect for that work day. For this recipe, you need 2 pounds of chuck steak, garlic, quick cooking tapioca, paprika, ground mustard, salt, Worcestershire sauce, brown sugar, beef broth, ketchup, some onion, some cornstarch and water, and some fresh frozen pasta. We're going to start with one of our chuck steaks. When you're cooking in the crock pot, this is a real good time to be economical as well, because you can use the less tender cuts of meat. And chuck steaks, round steaks, flank steaks, all of those are very good options for the crock pot. They're also lower in cost. I'm going to get this in here, and of course we don't want to cross-contaminate, so once I get my steak in, I'm going to wash my hands real fast. Now that I have my hands washed up, we're going to start to work on some of our other ingredients. We want to slice our onions and leave them in thick slices. You can either leave them in the rings or in half moons, either way, but you want to leave them very thick, because remember, we're going to be cooking this on a very low temperature for a very long time, and so if we cut them too small, they're going to just cook away. We're just going to dump that on top, no real rhyme or reason, and then we just start adding in the other ingredients. We're going to do our beef broth. You can also use a Burgundy wine, and that gives it a really good flavor. Our Worcestershire sauce, our quick cooking tapioca. That's going to give a little bit of thickness to the liquid as it cooks down. We're going to put in our half cup of water. We're also going to do our garlic, our brown sugar, and he does need to be broken up a little bit. Then we're going to put in our other spices, our paprika, ground mustard, and then also a little bit of salt. I know this recipe looks very similar to one of the recipes that you would do with the cream soups, and it is somewhat similar, but it does have a lot more flavor than just putting a steak in and dumping a cream soup on top. The other thing that makes this a good option is that it is very low in sodium. When you use cream soups with crock pots, you have that added sodium in that product. So even though we've added in salt, and we're also adding in ketchup, which has a lot of salt in it, we still can stay fairly low, which is also good if you are wanting to watch a heart-healthy diet. All right. Doesn't look very appealing right now, but trust me, when we come back here in about 8 hours, all of that will have cooked down, and it will make a lovely steak and gravy for you. You might notice I have a lot more ingredients out. It's because I'm going to show you how you can finish this crock pot meal off in as little as 15 minutes. We've let our steaks cook all day long, and you can see it's gotten all gelled together, and it's juicy, and our steak is falling apart, which is really what we want. Like I said, you can use those tender cuts, the tougher cuts, because after you slow cook something for that long, it is going to fall apart. The reason I'm going to take out most of my steak and most of my onions, and I'm using a slotted spoon to do that, is because now you can tell it's pretty soupy. What we're going to do is we're going to add in some cornstarch to a little bit of water. Now, because my sauce is hot in the pan, I want to make sure to mix my cornstarch with a little bit of water. That's going to help it not clump up. If you were just to dump in some spoonfuls of cornstarch, it would not be a good mix. And this is going to thicken up and give us a nice gravy. At this point, we've had our crock pot on low. At this point, we want to turn it back up on high, put our lid on, and let our gravy set. While that's working, we're going to do a couple of real quick side items. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some fresh frozen pasta. We work with dried pastas a lot, but we don't work a lot with fresh frozen pastas. The reason I've chosen this today is because it can cook quicker than our dried pastas. I've got a big pot of boiling water on the stove, so I'm just going to dump those in there real fast, give them a quick stir, and have them be cooking while I'm working on another side dish. We have our pasta boiling, we have our gravy simmering, and now we're going to do a veggie side dish. This is a quick zucchini side dish. Goes very well with this. Gives you some of your green vegetables that we really like for people to have. We're just going to take our zucchini and cut them into rounds. And I'm preheating my skillet just a little bit because we're going to do kind of almost a stir fry in a way. Whenever we first get the zucchini in the skillet, we're going to put in olive oil and garlic and let that saute a little bit. You know, whenever everybody starts back to school and fall is in full swing, coming up with some really nutritious, easy meals are very important. Whenever families eat together, they save money and they have better nutrition and it's more balanced. We can control a lot of the sodium, we can control a lot of the fats, and we eat a lot more vegetables whenever we are cooking at home. Now that this is sizzling up nicely and the aromas are coming out, we're going to put in our zucchini and kind of saute this. We're going to cook this uncovered for about 5 to 6 minutes. And then we're going to add in some diced Italian tomatoes with the juice. Before we do that, we want to add in our seasoned salt and our pepper. We're going to add a little bit more flavor, and we're going to do that just by simply adding the Italian diced tomatoes. And that's just 1 can, the 14.5-ounce can. We're going to add those in there. Plus, I love vegetables, and this gives us a second vegetable that we can add to our meal. You can see in as little as 15 minutes, we've been able to put together a full meal. Well balanced, lots of veggies, and really tastes like all day cooking. Our gravy is done. Takes about 15 minutes on high after you add your cornstarch and water. We did add a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese to our zucchini and tomatoes. Got those done. Our fresh frozen pasta is ready. Put a side salad with this. Your family can be in the door at the table within 15 minutes. You can't beat that. Remember, the more we eat together, the more nutritious and the better for us it is. Be sure to come back to the Food Corner, part of newsstar.com, for more demonstrations and recipes. And if you have any questions, contact the Pottawatomie County OSU Extension Office. We'd like to send a great thanks to Rock Creek Baptist Church for letting us use their facilities today. And remember, eat better, eat together.